Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to beautiful Interlagos circuit here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It is round 2 of Formula Dream, and we are super excited to be bringing this production to you. Let's go ahead and roll our race info for you here. It's the Brazilian Grand Prix here, the 1979 layout of Interlagos, 26 corners, 7.96 kilometers, and we'll be running 22 laps. It should be a beautiful day. As it looks right now, maybe a slight haze in the air, but other than that, perfectly clear skies. Noon timing as well for the race. Last year we had a beautiful sunset. This year, just going to be nice, warm weather all the way through. Hot track, though. Could be burning through those tires. I'm here with my buddy Noah. We're going to give you the best production we can today. Noah, you have anything to add about the race here in Interlagos?
Super excited. I think it's gonna be a lot like last week. It's a couple of very long, fast straights, but there's also a lot of turns, a lot of quick turns. It's gonna be interesting today.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a really fun one. We definitely saw lots of good stuff in the practice sessions that we ran. Lots of simulated parts of the race. It's looked really good so far. That should be a really close battle, piling on into turn 1. So. Go ahead and take a look actually at our Formula Dream standings here. Just a quick look. As we take a look, we've got Madison Brown leading the driver standings. As expected, she was the winner of the last race, so obviously she would be leading the driver standings. Factor Bacon in a close second, good turnaround from last season, and Jeffrey J-Man in third. Going down the order for the top 10, we've got Felicia Ziviello in 4th, Mallory Fonte in 5th, Jafeth Barahona in 6th, Keelan Wynn 7th, Juno Maximovich 8th, and Factor J 9th. Will Duncan comes in at 10th in the driver's standings. Noah, what do you think about that top 10?
It's very, not too many two from the same team. Only Team Factor is a couple. Well, I guess there's only 2 from Team Factor. But, very diverse with the teams.
Yeah, very interesting. We're going to have some good team parity this year, I would think. Speaking of teams, got MILF Mommy Motors in first. Triumphant first race for them is mostly spearheaded by Madison Brown, but they did have a good finish down the line as well. I believe it was Hayden Segovia, coming in 11th, so they had a decent result there. Otherwise, it was Team Factor in second, which is impressive for only a 2-car team. Shreve Hart Racing in third. They were pretty close to last year, so a good start for them. Rocket Racing got off to a strong start last season. They do so again with 93 points. Sitting on 90 is Prix Racing. They seemed a little bit off the pace last race, but did seem to be a consistency is key type strategy for them. So good stuff there. 6th is Inter-Europol Competition, the first of the new teams, and following them right on up is Area I Racing, also a new team, and definitely a successful first time out for them, even if they aren't all that high up the standings. Had some bad luck last time out. Looking through the rest of the standings, we've got Blue Balls Motorsport not having the best of days there in 8th place, and Central United in a dismal 9th place. Noah, any comments on the team standings?
It's kind of about where you expected. The 2 that were fighting for the championship last year right on top, with the Team Factor who were right on top. The only ones that are not down where you expected pre-com, they are falling way down. They're down 5th.
Yep, definitely got to say that it's interesting to see where they've ended up. I thought they were going to be a lot stronger this season from what we've seen.
Looking at qualifying right now, though, Central United is looking to turn it around, it looks like, with Kyra Tuppel currently sitting on pole. So, I'm looking ahead a little bit, but Kyra Tuppel of Central United is currently sitting on pole.
Yeah. That would be an excellent result for them. It is a long lap around here, so I'm not sure how long Tupper's going to stay there. In fact, he's not going to anymore.
Nope.
Spot point that moves on ahead, as we will go ahead and give you a nice little race feed. As we've got Kyle Tupper alongside Noah Nadu in the commentary booth here from Interlagos. I'm really excited for this one. It should be a fun race. We've seen lots of good stuff so far. As we'll go ahead and throw up our scoreboard there on the left side so we can actually see what's going on.
Factor Bacon puts it on pole.
Factor Bacon up on pole for now. We knew Kyle Tupper wasn't going to stay there for very long. They just don't have the pace. Central United. Madison Brown slots it into third.
Felice for second.
Felice Ziviello in third. Excellent result for PCR. They'll be happy with that. Keelan Wynn comes home in fourth.
Wow.
Yep. Take a look at David Lakers here coming through to complete his lap. We'll see how that one goes for him. As he comes home on pole position for Rocket Racing is David Lakers. Excellent finish there as Will Duncan will be coming through to complete his lap for PCR. See if they can put up a decent one here. Duncan across the line. And it's not even good enough to move him out of 18th. In fact, he falls down a position to Josh Fobo as Hayden Segovis is coming on through here.
Now, what
That's
is
the fastest lap
to the
from Hayden
pole.
Segovis. Pole position for MILF Mommy Motors as it stands. James Brown coming through slowly. Colin Fleabag up into 12th. Jedi John to 4th. Brilliant qualifying lap.
Good
But
for
second goes Steve Durham. And Factor J takes the pole.
The fastest. Wow,
Everyone
what a
is coming on
qualifying.
through here. We've still got 2 minutes and 55 seconds as well left in the session. So this one's not quite over yet.
One of the most exciting qualifyings I think we've ever had.
Yeah, everybody coming through at once as the next wave is kind of going to be led by Mallory Fonte and Kyle Tupper. Everybody else has crossed the line, but they'll be coming through to complete another lap. Interesting here at Interlagos, we usually see some cars come into the pits on the last qualifying lap because they're running low on fuel, and some of them will come through and complete it on that light fuel load. So we've got last year's champion, Factor J, up on pole position. We'll see if he can stay there. As here comes Kyle Tupper, looking good, but not good enough as Fonte comes home 21st. Coral 7th. Botbrook into the pits out of 12th. So here comes Japheth Barahona. He's on 2:28 right now. He's got 2 seconds to get across the line. And nothing too terribly impressive from him. Noah Nadu and Alex Martin swinging on through. Marcelo Mars also going to be followed by a few cars here. Mars goes 13th fastest. Litwinski stays in 9th. Brown can't improve either, and Bacon is on into the pits. Here comes Maximovich on a flying lap. 13th for him. J-Man stays where he is. Here comes Ziviello across the line. Still 8th. Keelan Wynn in 10th. Coming through. We'll see how he does. As he remains there. Will Duncan is definitely going to want to try and improve on his lap. He's all the way down in 25th. He's not going to be happy down there. Here comes David Lakers. He was on pole for a brief amount of time, but he's not able to do it again. The time to beat right now is a 2:27.016. That's absolutely rapid from Factor J. That's brilliant stuff. As here comes Will Duncan. I don't think he's going to be down in the 27s or the 28ths or the 29ths. He's coming into the pits. And Will Duncan is going to call it a qualifying. Not a great session for him. The only man with a chance now is Hayden Segovis as he's coming on a flying lap. Coming on home, he goes second fastest. But it's still 3/10 off that blistering pace set by Factor J. James Brown, the only man slower than Will Duncan in qualifying, coming home in 26. We've still got 30 seconds left. Factor J goes even faster. 2:27.011. A brilliant lap from them. And some scrapping between teammates Jedi John and Colin Fleabag there. And they're kind of going at it. There's Casey Licata's 12th fastest.
We really got to wonder why Central United re-signed James Brown at this point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate how that happens.
Then again, none of them are looking too hot in qualifying today.
No, nobody's looking great. A big change that did happen in Formula Dream, though, over the weekend, we did switch from the hard compound tires to the soft compound tires. So we will be running soft now, which means tires will degrade more. Tire degradation will become more of an issue, but there'll also be more grip and probably some faster lap times than what we've been seeing. As Tupper goes 15th fastest there, moves up, as does Mallory Fonte. Coral is right in behind Fonte, 7th place for him. Japheth Barahona is going to be hoping he can get IEC up a little bit. He does get them up 1 position, but not much more than that, as Nadu comes home right in front of Alex Martin, 24th and 18th for them, respectively. Litwinski now coming across, still good for P9. Here comes Spencer Brown into the pits. Maximovich in 14th. 14th he will stay. As Jeffrey comes home, also in 16th. Ziviello, one of the last few cars that's going to come on through here. Up to P5 for Ziviello. Top 5 start for the PCR driver. Brilliant stuff in a car that's more aero-dependent. We see really how the setups can affect things here at Interlagos. as it's currently P4 for David Lakers. He probably doesn't have a whole lot left to fight for. He probably wants to try and get it up even further, and that he does. He's up into 4th. David Lakers. Brilliant lap there from him. It's Josh Fobo trying to redeem at least something for Blue Balls Motorsport here, but has not been a good qualifying for them. They've got Fleabag in 19th, Fobo in 23rd, and Fobo is just going to take it on into the pits. Not enough fuel to make it back. You have to make it back to the pits after your qualifying lap. So here comes James Brown trying to rectify anything he could from a tough qualifying lap. He's got a few drivers coming in a row here. Here comes Jedi John across the line, Steve Durham, and wow, we've got some big movement there. Jedi John up into 3rd, Steve Durham in 4th. Wow. Qualifying. I wonder who we've got left. I think it's just Casey Lakatos coming through here, and he is going to stay. Oh, he's going to move up to P10. So Casey Lakatos into the top 10. Brilliant stuff there from Lakatos. As we're looking at our grid lineup here, it's Factor J, last year's champion, on pole as it stands. Brilliant lap there from him. As we look at the rest, we've got Hayden Segovia starting P2 and Jedi John in P3. It's a great day for MILF Mommy Motors. Jedi John will be very happy with that, with the bad luck that he's had up to this point. It's Steve Durham then for Area iRacing in 4th, David Lakers in 5th, Ziviello in 6th for PCR, Factor Bacon in 7th, top 7 finish for Team Factor today. As Coral comes home 8th, another PCR driver in the top 10, good for them. Mihal Litwinski in 9th, I believe he's the first IEC driver. A bit of a surprise there. And then the second area driver is Casey Lakatos in 10th. That rounds out your top 10. We've got the Shreveport of Keelan Wynn, the number 11 car, in 11th. Lots of 11s there across the board. And Madison Brown, the third MMM, in 12th. In 13th place, it is the Blue Balls Motorsport, their best finisher. In 13th, it's Bob Brook. Noah, if you want to take the rest of the qualifying order, it's all yours.
Yeah, starting in 14th is Maximovich. Starting 15th is the first finisher for Central United's Kyle Tupper. Starting 16th is Jeffrey Jamin of Rocket Racing, followed by his teammate Marcelo Mars, starting 17th. Starting 18th is Alex Martin. Starting 19th, it's Colonel Freeleg. Starting 20th is Dweteth Barahona. Starting 21st is Mallory Fonte. Starting 22nd is the driver from area, Spencer Brown, followed by Josh Fobo. Starting 24th is the Central United driver, James Brown, followed by his teammate, Noah Nadu. Starting 26th is Will Duncan.
All right, lovely. So that's how it's going to look here with our starting grid at Interlagos. It's a brilliant track. It's twisty, it's windy, there are long straights, there are tight turns, there's just about everything here. It's going to be a battle all the way to the end. It's going to be brilliant stuff. Noah, what do you think about the way this race looks? How do you think it's going to shape up?
I'm thinking, I think MILF Mommy Motors looks really good for today's race. They have the best top speed and fuel saving, so I think those two are going to be big in today's race. So I think they're going to have a strong shot at having some strong finishes in today's race.
Absolutely.
Same thing with Rocket Racing. They went for top speed and decreased damage.
Yep. And I think Team Factor as well.
Yeah, they're balanced, so I think they're going to have a good race. Yep, and they have obviously the pit, so...
Exactly. They have qualified well, and
that's exactly right.
Yeah, we've seen how much pit strategy plays into things here in Formula Dream.
Actually, saying that, then Area iRacing has the same thing, top speed and pit crew, so they're another one to look out for today.
Yes, indeed. So I've had a lot of good qualifying results, a lot of not so good qualifying results, but I'm very excited for this one to get going. So what do you say we go ahead and get started here from Interlagos?
Do it.
As we're going to get the lights up, the engines roaring. 3 lights lit up here from Brazil. We are underway. The lights are out. It's a good start for Factor J. He's going to jump out into first. Both of the MMMs got a decent start as well. Lots of shuffling near the back of the pack as they roll on down into that first quick left-hand turn. Oh, big crash. It's Colin Fleabag. You saw her spinning through the background. That is unreal. A huge wreck up there towards the back, but I think everybody's gotten through decent. No red flag coming out right now. Colin Fleabag was absolutely obliterated there in the back. Wow, huge wreck. Oh, and a big dive. Here comes Hayden Segovis. Down the inside, he's going to take P1 off the start. Hayden Segovis jumps ahead of Factor J. Fleabag and Martin are the ones. Oh, big spin from Jay. Jay spins. Jay spins. Is he in the wall? Oh, he's managed to get on back of track right in front of a big pack. We've got a couple cars that have spun it out. It's Phil H.J. Ziviello as well. Oh, there's contact with James Brown. And a big stack up. A big stack up there. And I don't know what we're going to do. There's still some decent racing going on. seems like they're going to let things roll on here. Not going to be a red flag to this race yet, but what a start. As we're going to have to go to race control. They're going to have to decide what the deal is going to be here. Noah, what are your thoughts?
I don't know, we've already lost 4 people, 4 or 5 racers in the first lap. What's the chat decide? Do you guys want to red flag this race?
Yeah, we'll throw it to the chat.
No, we're going.
No red flag, we go on. That's what I was thinking as well. I think we keep it green. And realistically, it was a big spin from Jay, and there was contact with James Brown. Is James Brown back on track? No, he's not. Ziviello is also in the pits right now. But anyway, oh man, Hayden Segovas. No, Hayden Segovas I don't think had a spin, but he's running away right now. Hayden Segovas has a big lead. He's not fueled to anywhere near the end, Hayden Segovas, but we'll have to see what goes on the rest of the way. Anyway, we will have some great racing here in the middle of the pack. That's usually what is bred here at Interlagos. The racing in the middle of the pack is fantastic. And you get lots of close racing through the twisty, tiny turns. What was that, Noah?
What a start that was.
Yeah, what a crazy start.
Realistically, I'm sorry. If we look at the battle between Madison Brown and Kroll, it looks like Madison Brown is catching up to Kroll quite quickly.
I would agree with that. That's who we're on right now, in fact. As Hayden Segovas sets the fastest lap of the race, he had a big jump to get up into first place. Great overtake of Factor J heading through turn 1. We saw Colin Fleabag just explode right off the start. Luckily, able to get back out on track after pit stop. As the fastest lap stays in possession of Hayden Segovas. It should stay that way for now. Here comes Coral, now looking to try and get past Factor Bacon. Let's see if anyone tries to duck to the inside here. I think there's just a lot of slipstream going on. Madison Brown goes gun down the inside and gonna make the move on Coral. Let's see if that one sticks. It does look like it's going to, as Coral drops down a spot. He's into P8. So we start to get our bearings back here. Oh, big send coming in from Litwinski. He was looking down the inside of Coral. Coral's going to be tumbling down the order here. Litwinski down the inside makes a great optimistic move on Coral. And Coral, wow, didn't even have time to react. He had just gotten overtaken by Madison Brown, and then he's a little too late on the brakes heading into that corner there and leaves the inside open. Michal Litwinski took it. Now, Maximovic going to put some pressure on Coral as well. So looks like Madison Brown wants to get past Factor Bacon here too. I'm going to talk about decent starts. Bacon had a decent one, moved up a couple spots, but Madison Brown is through on Factor Bacon as well. Not even a whimper from Bacon there to try and defend that position. So Madison Brown is up, I believe, 6 spots from the start now, as she has been charging through the field. She's got 2.5 seconds now to make up to Jedi John, her teammate, but wow, look at this for MMM. They're having a brilliant day so far, especially after winning that first race.
Yeah, I really expected them to have a pretty good day with the package they went for today's race. It just fit the car and the track really well.
I definitely agree with that. They've looked good in all the practice sessions. This race definitely still has a lot of cards held close to its chest. We see how tight that middle of the pack really is. We've got about 4 drivers down towards the bottom that were involved in some wrecks at the start, but 4 drivers out of a 26 car field is not really that huge of a switch up. As Segovas continues to roll on into the lead, he should have no problem continuing to raise that gap on Steve Durham. He goes faster now, 2:29.982. Still nothing compared to what we've been seeing in qualifying, but as the race goes on, that track is going to get rubbered in, and times are only going to keep getting faster. I must say, it looks like Factor J is showing some good resilience here. He's now battling hard with David Lakers. He wants to try and get those spots back that he lost with that big spin. Hopefully his tires can hold up.
Yeah, with the new tires, that's going to be tough to say if he's trying to eat at them too much right now while other people might be saving.
I'll hold that thought, though. There's a big move down the inside. And, oh, bit of a wide run. Oh, big wreck for David Lakers, and he is going to be out of this race and head into the pits. He runs wide. We see that happen a lot, especially on these tires when they start to wear out. You don't know how much grip you have going into that corner. And, man, David Lakers just exploded. His engine blew as soon as he hit that wall. And yeah, that's right into the pits for the spare car. As we take a look at Lakers here, he might fall back behind Colin Fleabag. I think he already has fallen behind Colin Fleabag. As, yeah, Lakers is going to have to sit in the pits for just a minute here, as maybe James Brown will still stay behind him. If he can even get that car fixed in time, he might be done. To be honest, could be some lasting damage there, as we see J-Man and Lakatos are swapping spots. They're side by side here. Will Duncan asking if he's got damage or just lack of talent. I'm going to guess it's lack of talent, but we'll have to go take a look at Will Duncan's car. Front wing looks okay. Rear wing also looks okay. Yeah, I think he's just lacking some talent here. As I think David Lakers might be done, Noah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, his wheels turned like that. I think you're correct. I think he's going to be out of this race.
Yeah, usually when we see a wheel turned like that, it means done for David Lakers. So we will see if he's able to get things back going.
What a wreck that was.
Guessing probably not. Yeah, it was a huge shunt. Some crazy stuff. And Steve Durham is the only real challenge for Hayden Segovis up there, but
He's 5 seconds down.
So, any drivers surprising you so far, Noah? I know we've had some chaos here at the start, and it's just now kind of settling itself down.
No, to be honest, this is exactly kind of how I expected it to go. I knew, like I said, Milfine Motors would be fast, and they are.
Yeah,
I said Area iRacing was going to be fast. They are.
They are fast, but they are some of the most underfueled cars on the grid as well. As we
That
look.
is true.
Madison Brown's only got 4 laps left. Hayden Segovis has 6. And so we are going to see some swapping around with that. It's interesting to look at.
And usually the early pit does not pay off from what we've seen in the past.
Indeed. So hold that thought. Here comes Casey Lakatos battling with Marcelo Marce. These two are right on each other. As Lakatos has to back out just a little bit, but here's the big overtaking opportunity down the straight here. As Lakatos isn't going to be able to make it happen this time, but Kyle Tupper going down the inside of Spencer Brown. Big move from the Central United driver on another Central United driver, as in the background we've got Nadu on Fonte. As Fonte runs out wide there. Oh, big slide by Mallory Fonte. She's able to correct it, but that corner can be deadly. Oh, Spencer Brown's in the grass. Spencer Brown is cutting the grass here, and he's going to hope he's going to get that back started, but I think he might have beached it. Oh, no, Spencer Brown has gone off into the grass, and oh, he's flat-spotted those tires really, really badly there. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this car back going. Spencer Brown ran out wide into the grass, and into the pits he goes to get that spare car. He's going to have to get it rolling again. That's an unfortunate result for Spencer Brown. He's been tumbling down the order so far today. As both of the Browns have had some bad luck. Really do hate to see that. I think Brown is able to get it back going here. Still ahead of James Brown, his Brown counterpart. So now we're just waiting on when the MMM drivers are going to bring it into the pits. As they will probably be some of the first to get the call. I think Madison Brown probably will be the first driver out of the grid to get the pit call. As we've seen quite a bit of chaos here during Lagos so far to start. We had the same kind of situation last year. It was a rainy race and had some wild stuff happen. Nothing too out of the ordinary like the crashes we've had today, though, and it unfortunately spread out the field a little bit, so hopefully the pit strategy will put things back together again. It's always interesting to see how that plays
the battle
out.
for... Hold on, I'm trying to check here. 15th and 14th is starting to get close.
Jafeth Barahona and Jeffrey J-Man. Yeah, interesting. This is definitely the closest little pack on the racetrack, although Michal Litwinski is starting to give some trouble to Factor Bacon here. He had an absolute rocket down at the main straight, and you see Factor Bacon just twitching a little bit there. You wonder if maybe those soft tires are starting to wear for him if he started to push him a little too hard, but the tables have kind of turned here. Here comes Coral getting into the slipstream of Litwinski. It might be a chance for the PCR driver to send it down the inside instead, as Litwinski's not giving him a whole lot of room down the inside. Coral's going to hold off for now, but he's oh so close to the back of that IEC car, and oh, he's slid it out
no!
wide.
Wow,
What a
save.
save by Coral. He does lose a position, but man, he was really skating there. Unbelievable that he managed to hold on to it like this, and now we got some side-by-side racing. It's Coral, Keelan Wynn, and Bot Brook all kind of going at each other here.
What a save that was. Holy goodness.
Yeah, that was fantastic by Coral. Sucks they had to lose some positions. Obviously, it was a slight loss of talent to cause it in the first place, but the fact that he managed to bring it back like that is brilliant. What a save by Coral. Fortunately, now he's got some work to do, as he's going to be under fire from this whole train of cars in behind him. As they roar on by. So looking through the order here, got Hayden Segovis leading the race still. We'll go ahead and go on board with him for just a minute here. Haven't really had a whole lot of entertainment from him, or really anybody. But hopefully that will change as the pit stops start cycling on through. Well, is there any driver in particular that you've seen that's been impressive, or the opposite, not impressive?
Steve's been pretty impressive. I mean, he's slowly catching, but it's not much. Now it
very
is.
Slowly.
It went from 5 to slowly.
Yeah, there are some slight little jumps up there in the interval timing, but like we said, it's going to be pretty darn close to pit time for Segovis and Brown. I wonder if they're going to try to go somewhat together. That will be interesting to see. As Jedi John...
Past Madison Brown.
Yeah, gotten past his teammate, Madison Brown. And John has a lot more fuel on board than Madison Brown does. So that is something to look out for. As we're about 30% through this race, here comes a big send, though, by Factor Bacon.
He's just giving her the toe, you know.
Yeah, definitely giving her the toe. So Jay is back up into second place. Big props to Jay for battling hard. He's done a great job to salvage something out of this. And here we got some side-by-side racing. It looks like Durham got right back through on Jay down at that second long straight. I've definitely seen a lot more overtaking in a lot of more diverse spots this year at Interlagos than we did last year. It could be the tires, it could be the temperature, it could be the weather. But there was really only one overtaking zone, and it was that first corner at the end of the long straight. But here, we've definitely seen quite a lot more. So Factor J is still in behind. Madison Brown really buzzing behind Jedi John as well, but you would assume, yeah, as soon as I say that, Madison Brown has gotten the call to come into the pits this lap, so you'd assume she wouldn't push her teammate too hard, but she's also going to try and save every last tenth of a second that she can. As we'll go on board with the MILF Mommy Motors number 27, Madison Brown, right in behind Jedi John. We'll watch her hightail it on into the pits here pretty soon. As it is a gorgeous circuit looking into the Brazilian town of Sao Paulo. You see it off in the distance there, the beautiful stacked buildings and rolling hills. As it's a gorgeous circuit, it's a gorgeous day for racing as well. I can't ask for much more than this. As we're getting ready to start lap number 7, you see quite a bit of rear wing damage for Jedi John as well. You can see it from Madison Brown's car here. But it's not seeming to affect him too much. Maybe it's just even reducing his drag, giving him a little more speed. Noah, what do you think?
I think that's only 1 out of the 2 on the over-under counter.
Yeah, if we're going to count that, we did make a little bet on how many times Jedi John is going to crash, but I don't think I'm going to worry too much about Jedi John right now. He's still running a pretty darn good race.
Yeah, he is.
Into the pits comes Madison Brown. Let's see where she's going to come on out. As she rolls into the pits and stops. Hayden Segovis is still our fastest lap of the race. Thought I would point that on out. We'll see where Brown comes out, and we'll see how much fuel she puts in as well. So Brown taking a long stop.
And
Will
here's the
Duncan
thing now.
gonna get a position here for Madison Brown.
With the new tires, it's taking a big fuel load worth it because can you actually go to the end on the softs?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You definitely can. You can, but it's not recommended. As Madison Brown's going to come out in almost last here. And she's behind even Colin Fleabag now. And she's on pit exit, Madison Brown is. Here she comes. Getting back onto the circuit. 6 seconds behind Colin Fleabag. She is fueled comfortably to the end. Madison Brown is. Factor J getting the call as well out of second place, so he will lose that position. But yeah, they put in 90 liters of fuel for Madison Brown.
It's interesting.
Yeah, Jay gonna go for the undercut on Segovas. I could definitely see that working. I think it's possible. Hayden Segovas has one Formula Dream win to his name, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's only one. It was Indianapolis last year.
Actually, there's only a few people here that have a win to the name.
Yes, there
there's
are.
a lot of...
Would be interested to look at those statistics. Casey Licata's getting the pit call as well for Area I Racing. He's pitting out a 10th. We'll see how Factor J's stop goes.
And remember, Casey Licata has the pit crew upgrade, so we'll see how fast his... I'm interested to watch him and see how fast his pit stop is here.
Yeah, for sure. That will be interesting to see if that pit crew upgrade really does make that much of a difference. As we've got some decent racing back here a little bit down the pack. It's Barahona trying to get past Bot Brook here, who's had a pretty good race, I must say, Bot Brook. Be a good result for Blue Balls Motorsport if they can pull that off and keep her around that position.
Duncan had a pretty good race. He's up 7 spots already in the day.
Yes, he is. I mean, a lot of them have been people crashing. Whether you want to consider that fortunate, unfortunate, or what.
Yeah.
But here comes Factor J.
Oh no, is also at 7. Max Minovich is also at 7, up to 7th.
Indeed. Here comes Coral. Listen to that roar of that PCR engine. It's such a beautiful sounding car. Speaking of Maximovich, that's who Coral's trying to mount the battle on right now. Factor J still in the pits, as is Casey Licata. We'll see if Licata is able to get out quicker than Jay with those pit crew upgrades he's got. We take a look at Jay. He is back on track now. Factor J is fueled for 9 laps, so Jay's going to have to stop again. Definitely had to take some time to repair that damage he had as well, so that would slow down the stop considerably. As Licata is also going to make this a 2-stop. Interesting strategy there. Madison Brown, we saw how much it hurt for her to go for that long stop, but it just might work out if everybody else is going to have to 2-stop. So we see a couple conflicting strategies here. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. And I correct myself. Hayden Segovas did have 2 wins. Actually.
2 wins, wow.
2 wins on the previous year. I'm trying to remember what his second one was.
That's a good question.
Enough, yep.
Factor J, oh yeah, he's down 14 because he was pit spot.
Indeed. Oh, Madison Brown is in the wall!
No!
Madison Brown is in the wall, and she's going to have to go to the pits again. Into the pits she goes.
Wow.
So here comes Factor J now charging on those new tires and that new fuel. Again, he's going to have to stop again. Noah Nadu is the one that he's battling with. He was the pole sitter on this race. Down the inside of Noah Nadu, a slightly slower car compared to Jay, but Nadu concedes the position. Jay down the inside, and away he goes. As that is not a good outcome for Madison Brown, but that is the risk you take when you have the top speed car. They are very prone to spinning, especially at a track like this in Interlagos where the track is warm. Not a lot of rubber on it yet. Hayden Segovas now is getting the call to come out of the lead, as is Josh Fobo. So we'll see what decision they all make on the pit strategy. As Segovas now is going to roll on in that number 67 Dr. Pepper car.
We'll see how far he comes out.
Indeed, Steve Durham will inherit the lead here. As Segovas down to P3. Jedi John up into P2. He'll be happy with that. He's got 8 laps of fuel left, so he's basically on par with the people that are going to try and 3-stop it. So ended up being a pretty good outcome for Jedi John. We'll see how it ends up for him in the grand scheme of things. Segovas filled up with 17 laps of fuel, so he's set to go, but he's going to be a decent little bit down the field here. You know who I think is in a good spot, actually?
Who's that?
I think Jedi John is in a really good spot.
I'd have to agree with you.
If I had to pick someone who I think has got a good chance to win this one from where they are right now, I would pick Jedi John.
I don't think that's wrong.
Definitely made
And
a
I think
great
he deserved
call.
it.
Yep. Steve Durham's only got 4 laps of fuel left. He's chasing Jedi John. Jedi John's got 8, so he's going to go 4 more laps than Steve Durham. Sorry, it's the other way around, actually. John is chasing Durham, but Durham will have to pit before, as 2 of the Blue Balls cars will come in and go out here. So it's definitely becoming more strategy time than racing time as it stands right now, but things should shake themselves back out before the end of the race. Everything will probably even itself up quite a bit. As my timing screens light up, we've got Coral coming in for a stop, as is Michal Litwinski. So Litwinski, oh, I've got a little flash on the screen for Keelan Wynn, and he's in the wall. Oh, man. Oh, his teammate almost joins him. That's Mallory Fonte. Oh, there's contact in front. It's Mallory Fonte. She's spun around, and she's able to keep going. Incredible stuff. That's Hayden Segovis.
Oh my God.
That's Hayden Segovis. That was the leader.
Oh,
That was our
my
previous
God.
leader, Hayden Segovis. He's going to be frantically checking that car to see if it's okay. Fonte just slid back onto the track, and you can expect
Hit the
harsh
leader.
action for that. For
Oh
Fonte
my
there, that's a
God.
dangerous rejoin of the track. She almost joined her teammate, Keelan Wynn, on the outside. And then instead decided
He's
to
gonna
collect.
definitely be in the admin holler after today's race.
Yeah, that will be not a very good look. It's not a good look for Shreveport Motors as a whole. They're not having a great day. Looking for Alex Martin here on the timing table. I'm not sure where he is. Steve Durham goes fastest, takes that fastest lap away.
Oh, it looks like someone hit the rear end of the car there.
Wouldn't be it surprising. Where is Alex Martin on track? He's 19th. Yeah, not a good day for Shreveport Motors. Not a good day at all.
That damage really might hurt Aiden too if he has to get it fixed next time he pits.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. As Litwinski and Coral are both into the pits now. As you hear everybody else roll on by. There's Jafeth Barahona coming in as well. So 2 of the IEC cars. This should be their only stop that they have to make. And wow, what a great stop for Litwinski. He's going to be easily fueled to the end. As is Barahona. They put the exact same amount of fuel in those 2 cars. So they're both good to the end. It'll be good for them. They do have the fuel-saving strategy, so they had to put in a lot less fuel than everybody else out there. Will Duncan up into 14th. Surprise, surprise. Been a good race for him so far. He is going to have to stop in about 5 laps' time. As Ziviello is also going to stop.
Central United drivers still have to stop.
Yep. You got that right.
Not a bad race for them though. Kyle Tucker up 7 positions and Noah Nadu up 15 positions so far today.
No, it has not been bad at all up to this point. Nadu is in 10th. I doubt it's going to hold there, but if he can survive his pit stops and stay in the top 10, as we've got a lot of cars coming in here. If you can hold that thought for a second. James Brown, Steve Durham, Maximovich, and Ziviello. Notably, Steve Durham is coming in. That's probably the biggest name that we're going to see coming in the pits here. So we near the halfway point of this race. Steve Durham leading. Jedi John a close second. He's really not all that far behind. And Factor Bacon kind of leading his own wave of cars. I wonder if Barahona has an issue here. Yeah, you hear him on the throttle there. I think he's stuck on some connection. Obviously has not been made correctly there. As I think Barahona might be done. Tough day for IEC. Seeing him have to be done there. As here's the Winsky in 13th. Maximovich in 4th, actually. So Maximovich is getting the call to come into the pits. So hopefully IEC can salvage something with Barahona going out. I think he's just now coming out. So it's a long pit exit here. As we see Felix here, quite upset that he's down 16 positions.
That's understandable.
Yeah, as Exceed is not entirely incorrect that Spa 1998 happened. That is pretty comparable to what happened at the start. Colin Fleabag flew about 10 feet in the air.
That is very true.
But I don't think Ziviel is entirely out of this one. I think he's got a lot of fuel in there. He might be good to the end. I think he's going to be 1 lap short of full to the end, so that means a quick splash. And probably won't gain him a whole lot.
Drivers.
Yep, indeed. Tupper and Nadu, as well as Maximovich and J-Man and Mars. So lots of takers here at the halfway point of the race. Makes sense. That's a pretty simple strategy, but a strategy that they hope will work. As we take a look, it was Mars, J-Man, Nadu, Tupper. I would assume they would all fuel to the end. Tupper is good to the end. Nadu is good to the end. J-Man to the end, and Mars to the end. They've all got about 15 laps of fuel put in, so very similar strategies from all those teams there. As there's a big lockup by Mars we saw there. Not going to be great on those new tires already. Not what you want to see. As Will Duncan says in chat that he's going for the 1-stop. We'll see how accurate that is. He's got 4 laps of fuel left, so I'm thinking it's going to be a 2-stop. More than likely for Will Duncan. As Bot Brooke gets the pit call. She made her way all the way up into 4th. Not sure she's seen herself there before. Probably uncharted territory for her. As Jedi John is going to have to pit at some point here. As there's a big send. Speaking of Bot Brooke being in 4th, I think it's going to turn into 5th here as Jay goes on through and takes a position.
We're flying. Ever since that beginning.
So most of the leaders are still going to have to go in one more time. Steve Durham is not. Steve Durham might win this race, actually.
Yeah, he had a good pit. He had a good pit. He had a really good. That's the area racing pit stop for you.
Yes, it is. They've got a quick pit crew. Hayden Segovis also one to watch out for. He's fueled to the end, and he's not too terribly far in behind where Steve Durham will be. It's probably going to be about 7 seconds, but you can definitely chew some of that time off. As maybe Crockpot is yet to pit. As I might have been mistaken. Oh, there goes Jay into the grass! And Jay into the wall! Could it be a second troublesome finish in a row for the champion? He's spinning the tires.
I think Brooke spun him.
We're going to have to go back and look at that one. As we'll take a note. Around the 45-minute mark, we'll have to take a look and see what Brooke did. Go ahead and take a look as Brooke is also into the pits here. That could be some harsh words for Bot Brooke after the race, if that's actually what happened. As we'll go back and take a look here. As we're speaking, Noah, I'll let you have the commentary duties for just a minute. I'm going to take a look at what happened to Bot Brooke and Factor J. As we were talking about... ooh, there's someone going wide. It's Keelan Wynn, and that's the second time he's beached himself on the same corner. So Keelan Wynn just doesn't seem to learn.
Not on that corner, at least.
Yeah, big mistake. I wonder if Mallory Fonte is going to come slamming on into him like she did last time.
I don't know if they have another backup car, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
I doubt it.
Might just have to limp it on back to the pits.
It looks like Brooke might be done. It looks like either Brooke just hit his rear end when I looked at it fast, but it looked like Brooke hit his rear end and spun him out.
Yeah. Looking at the replay here, we'll see what happened there.
Alex Martin into pits.
See, we're still watching.
Oh no, I don't see any contact from Brooke there. It looks like just a straight up spin from Factor J. And then Brooke did drive by. Doesn't seem that there's any contact here. Brooke was almost 4 seconds behind, and Jay was already spinning by the time Brooke even got to him.
Self-spin, wow.
Yeah, it was indeed a self-spin. It's really a pretty egregious self-spin, too. I mean, he was not even really under any pressure from Brooke anymore, and he just...
Oh, it looked like Brooke was almost going around. Fonte was almost going around there.
Flashing the wall. Fonte, a little bit slippery. Fonte.
Yeah, if Nadu can get up 3 positions, he can get himself driver of the day, or about to... Ah, no, Will Duncan... Oh, I don't know if Will Duncan is pit.
Will Duncan has not pit yet. He isn't
Fonte
the top 10.
in that pit?
Fonte has, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Maybe not. Maybe not, actually. Maybe this is Fonte's first stop. But yeah, she's really moved on up the order here. So yeah, look at how things are going. Factor Bacon now brings it in for his stop. Should be his only stop. As no, I went ahead and sent you the clip of that Factor J spin if you want to take a look at it. Looked like there's just a self-spin. If you go to around the 20-second mark, you can see exactly what happened. But yeah, it seems to be a pretty clean event. It was just that's driver error. That's all you can really chalk it down to. As here come Litwinski and Coral. Litwinski going to move up into 5th. Coral in 6th. Past Mallory Fonte. She's in the pits.
I looked over the second time when he came back across. She tapped him. I didn't see the original self spin.
Yeah. Yep, and maybe she did touch him, maybe she didn't, but I think either way he was going around all the way into the barrier, so it really didn't make much of a difference. If anything, it was Jay that got in the way of Brooke and almost damaged her car, so... Interesting. Very interesting. Although, it might be too much damage for Brooke. She is stuck in the pits, so maybe game policed itself a little bit there.
Fonte now into pits?
Yep. I think Fonte also might be a little bit broken down here. Not sure what keeps happening to the engines. I think it's overheating is what it is. Because it is very hot here at Interlagos, and I've driven on this track before, and I've overheated my engine in these cars. When the temperature's as high as it is. I even bumped up the temperature a couple degrees from what I normally drive in, so it very well could be engine overheating. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened to Mallory Fonte as well. Which is a shame, too, because she was running very well. And here comes the leader, Jedi John, into the pits. Look at how shredded those tires are. This is his first stop of the race. And ow, I just smacked my knee on my desk. But here comes John into the pits for his first stop of the race. And it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out.
Maybe...
So it's going to be him versus Steve Durham versus Segovas versus Bacon versus Lewinsky. He's going to get thrown into the middle of at least one of those guys. And it shouldn't be a long stop either for Jedi John.
Hopefully.
We'll take a look here.
I really hope, for his sake, it's a good pit stop.
Yeah, I also hope so, because if he ends up getting beached again in the pits, it's going to be a rough day. As Durham is just now coming across. Oh, this is going to be close. We're going to have a battle for the win here. As here comes John out of the pits. Durham just now crossing the checkered flag. John in the pits in turn 1. Here comes Durham. John's going to come right on out next to him here. As you see them right up against each other, we are going to have ourselves a little scrap for the lead, folks. Jedi John about 6/10 behind first place. Both of them fueled to the end, so here we go.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be really fun watching this one to the end. As Hayden Segovas is about 7.5 seconds behind. It's fresher tires as well for Jedi John. So we'll see how much of an impact that has. We'll really see what kind of difference having the new soft tires has made in Formula Dream. Maybe John passes him and just runs away. Maybe it stays close. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, John is already right up there with him.
Yeah, less than a second.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, John definitely really made a good decision to go to the end and go so long on that first stint. It's risky with the way the tires burn up here, but it seems that it has worked out for him pretty well. As we'll go on board with the number 23 MMM here, as he's got the leader in his sights, putting a lot of pressure on the number 01 of Steve Durham up there. As we'll see what Steve sees leading the race. Funny how he has the number 01 because Factor J, our champion, had the right to the number 1. Pushed Alex Martin out of the number 1, actually. Gave Alex Martin the switch to the number 2. Shout out to Alex Martin. The number 2 looks good on him. But yeah, Jedi John in the number 23. Durham in the 01, not just the 1. And yeah, John is right in behind him now. It's almost 3/10, getting very close. We'll go to the drone cam here on Jedi John. Always a cool shot. As we got the fly cam watching this battle unfold for the lead here at the Formula Dream Brazilian Grand Prix. I'm delusional if I think this is Italy. But yeah, what a start to the season we've had. We've had some chaos, and now I think we're just going to have a straight-up really good race.
I think it's a good fight to the finish here.
I also would agree with you there.
I hope at least.
Yeah, it should be. As we see them pour on through the last couple of corners. Look at that speed from Jedi John. He is flying, and he wants his position bad. But I think Durham got a better exit there. He's picking up a lot of pace. And maybe Jedi John a little heavier right now. from the fuel load.
Yeah, that's a Golden State Bridge.
Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge here at Interlagos.
Yep.
As here is the main overtaking spot on the circuit here. John has taken a lot of time out of Steve Durham, but it's not going to be enough to make a move this time around. Also, maybe Jedi John's just biding his time. He knows how strong the slipstream is here. So he's just going to stay there and wait, not give Steve Durham a chance to get him back a couple laps later. So we're going to have a very interesting finish here.
There he goes.
There's the move for P1 by Jedi John. Is he going to be able to hold it? Yes, he is, and Steve Durham yields and actually loses quite a bit of time there on the outside. That outside line is not viable there. We've got a new race leader, ladies and gentlemen. It is Jedi John, the unluckiest man in Formula Dream, who was gifted a win at the Nordschleife last year when Keelan Wynn crashed. And I guess when Keelan Wynn crashes, Jedi John has good days, because Wynn has crashed twice today. And that puts John up into the lead. He's really pulling away from Steve Durham now.
He's flying.
Yeah, John has incredible pace out there today. He has all day. Is anybody going to be able to catch him now? That's the real question. It's just a matter of keeping that car pointed the right direction. So he's opened it up to over a second now. Has Jedi John on Steve Durham. Still a lot of racing to go, and Casey Lakatos now is getting the call to come into the pits out of 7th place. We'll see how that affects the broader scheme of things. As Durham is way behind now, Jedi John running off into the distance.
For him.
Yeah, very good for him. Love to see it. We'll have to check back with him later and see if he's able to hold on to that lead. I really hope for his sake that he is. It's been a couple of difficult seasons for him up to this point, but it would be really great to see him finally win one.
Especially at the start of the season, it could put him in a good spot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely deserved. Very, very deserved for Jedi John, but I won't speak too soon because we know how we can jinx it, but there is the fastest lap of the race. He is flying. He's the first one into the 28s. It's a 2:28.844. We're getting closer to the qualifying pace now. That was a pretty brilliant lap from Jedi John. We'd love to see it. So into the pits is Lakatos. Coral takes the opportunity to run away. Man, I can't get over how beautiful that car sounds. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The PCR engine is a lovely, lovely sound on the ears. But got 6-ish laps left, and Jedi John is running away. Oh, wow, that's not even for position up there, is it? That's Michal Litwinski and Factor J. Factor J is the back marker. He moves on over, lets Litwinski through. So I was a little worried there for a second. I thought we were going to see a bit of a wreck. As there's the last car on track, Keelan Wynn. As Tupper loses a position to Nadu, it's essentially United teammates going at it here, so hold on to your hats. This could get nasty. Oh, no, running wide is Tupper. Is he going to save it? He fishtails all over the place, and yes, he is able to save it.
Wow.
We've seen that happen a lot there. It's an off-camber corner, so it does bank into the inside line, but there's no banking on the outside line, so you run away from that banking that you've got on the inside line and you are going to go into that grass, and we've seen it happen quite a bit. That outside line is scary there. So here comes Will Duncan on Josh Fobo as well.
That got scary there for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it did get scary there. I thought the Central United teammates might have gotten in each other's way. But Will Duncan has a decent shot here. He's actually had a pretty acceptable race up to this point. I wonder if anybody in front of him is still going to have to go in. I think Spencer Brown still has to pit. Spencer Brown is... he's way down the order. That won't affect anything. James Brown also, but he's down the order.
Yeah, he's almost in the last.
I think Ziviello still has to go in as well, which is not going to be great for him. And Jedi John continues to go faster. Brilliant lap there. Coral also has to pit out of 6th place, but overall, somehow PCR just finds a way to salvage good days out of almost nothing.
Yeah, always. Every single time, it seems like PCR is there to scrap up some points.
Well, that's why they're the champions. It does make sense. As Fobo running pretty comfortably away from Will Duncan here. But this one could get a bit spicy, as most of the gaps have really spread out. Never really seen them get this wide in our practice sessions until now. So you get something new every race, I guess.
At least it's some clean racing, except for the people that are self-spinning.
Yeah, it has been clean racing. We saw some wild stuff happening at Kyalami. Not necessarily even dirty racing, just weird pit calls. Yeah, this has been a much cleaner race for the most part. There was Mallory Fonte coming in front of the track. I believe that was it Factor Bacon that she ran in front of?
Or Jay. Was it Jay?
No, it was Jay that got spun out by Brooke. We'll have to take a look.
Oh, yeah. We'll take a look. Rather than Bacon.
We'll go back to the old admin hauler and take a look at what happened there. But yeah, I mean, right now, this order doesn't look like it's going to shift a whole lot. The only interesting thing that I could see happening is Coral's pit stop. Maybe that'll throw a bit of a wrench into things. Got Jedi John leading for MMM. Got Area iRacing, Steve Durham. Go ahead, Noah, whatever you were going to say.
That could possibly get both Central United, or two of the Central United drivers into the top 10 if Coral has to pit.
It could.
Which would be a really good day for them, all things considered.
Yeah, definitely would be. Will Duncan asking if his fuel is good. Yes, it is. Will Duncan is good to the end. He's got more than enough to make it. And he's still 1.5 seconds behind Josh Fobo. Still one of the closest battles on track. It's kind of sad that that is one of the closer battles on track, 1.5 seconds, but it's still good on fuel. So we'll see if he's able to make it back up. Jedi John still pulling on away from Steve Durham. Off into the lead.
How many laps does Coral have?
As Jedi John goes fastest overall, Coral has not very long. Spencer Brown is getting the pit call, but we knew that wasn't really going to affect much. Coral has 3 laps to go, so he's going to have to pit right at the end. That could create a pretty interesting battle for the top 10 positions.
Yeah.
See where he ends up coming out there.
He might attempt to finish. We'll have to see.
He might. It's hard to save fuel here. It's a very flat-out track, but it does have a bit of a cushion behind him. 7 seconds to Maximovich there. But I would assume, yeah, he's not going to have enough, I don't think. Now it's down to 3, is what it's saying.
No.
So he should fall just short, I would think. We'll see if maybe Spencer Brown gets spat out into some traffic, as he's getting really close to calling a flea bag. It's not really going to matter, because he's going to pit out here pretty soon. As Spencer Brown is under a second from calling a flea bag, but he is going to bring it on into the pit box here. And Fleabag can breathe a sigh of relief. Should be a lonely race for her the rest of the way then after that. 13 seconds behind Will Duncan. And
that's
then,
just going to be all alone.
Yep, a further 13 seconds between her and Martin now that Spencer Brown is pitting. Martin's just now coming across the start-finish straight. So Spencer Brown, we'll see how that pit stop goes for him. He should be just about ready to get going. It shouldn't be a long one. You'd think. Here comes Madison Brown. Going to overtake Spencer in the pit lane. Spencer probably going to be spat out pretty darn close to where Felicia Ziviello is right now. So PCR driver might be able to gain a little bit more there as, yeah, this is going to be a close one between these two then. Here comes Ziviello and Brown.
Oh, might actually
some fresh tires. Yeah, might have some racing here. As Coral's really starting to push on Michal Litwinski. Again, it's not really going to matter with how Coral's going to need to box in pretty soon. But still something to keep an eye on. We still might see some overtakes. As Ziviello's getting really close to Brown. We're kind of just bouncing between PCR drivers now, aren't we?
A little bit of bouncing.
Just a little bit. Will Duncan wants us to turn on the rain. Not sure We'll just do that at the snap of a finger. Not really in the forecast, not a single cloud in the sky here. Although they do say something about Interlagos and drizzling. They call it the land of the drizzle or something like that. It does rain here very often, almost out of nowhere, but I don't think that's on the cards today, actually.
Not this week.
A couple battles heating up here. Coral now within 3/10 of Michal Lewinsky up front. This one could turn into an overtake. We'll see what happens as we look at the intervals here on the scoreboard. Coral very close. And Backmarker also joining the battle here, trying to unlap himself. So here comes the big send from Coral. Is he going to be able to hold it against Lewinsky? Yes, he is. He's got the better grip through the corner. Lewinsky, ooh, running a little wide there. A little scary, but he manages to hold on to it. That is a frightening part of the track. You see all the tire prints there coming back onto the circuit. As Lewinsky running out into the grass a little bit. Easy there, Tiger. Ziviello getting close as well to Spencer Brown. Lewinsky's not going to be too pressed about trying to get this position back, I think, because Coral is getting the call very soon, as is Felice Ziviello. Unfortunately, he's going to have to pit out of this battle and might get thrown right back into another battle with James Brown.
Is James Brown getting a pit call right now?
James Brown is getting a pit call, actually. So Brown and Ziviello are the two that were a slight concern right now, but I don't think that's going to end up being an issue. It'll be Factor J maybe that's going to have a chance to get past James Brown, but I don't think that's going to become any kind of problem with the amount of gap there is there. So here comes Ziviello into the pits. As you'd assume, Coral is going to get his call soon. He's got 2 laps left. As Exceed wants me to remove the top 4 from existing. That's fine, I can do that. You never know. You could get some spins here. We've seen a lot of spins. So Tupper and Nadu, actually, the Central United teammates, are still going at it.
Oh.
As that would be very on-brand for them to crash into each other.
It would be, indeed.
That would be very
exactly
Central United. Jedi John continues to find that he can push the accelerator pedal even farther in than he did before, as he goes 228.416, the new fastest lap. As driver of the day candidates, Noah Nadu is up 15 spots. However, if Kyle Tupper passes him, then he's going to be only up 14 spots, and he's going to be in 11th place, so he's not going to be top 10. He's not going to be eligible for drivers of the day. So, Central United team is probably saying, Tupper, do not overtake. But Tupper wants a top 10, so maybe he is going to try and overtake. We're going to see how that one plays out.
They screw the team.
Yeah. We'll see if team orders come into play.
Coral pits won't matter.
That's true if Coral does pit, but there is a lot of space.
Coral's pitting.
Coral is pitting. And we knew that was going to happen soon enough, but he's out very quick. It's a great stop from the PCR crew. They only put 4 laps of fuel into that car. This is going to be real interesting, folks. Yeah, it's going to be a battle between these 3 now. As Tupper's going down the inside. Here he goes on Noah Nadu. And Coral, as you see, is coming right out of the pit stall there into this battle. Coral is going to be in front of them. So now this really matters. Tupper holds the position. He's in 10th. Nadu is 11th. So now the battle for driver of the day is what's going to rage on. It's going to be Mars. It's going to be Marcelo Mars if it's not Noah Nadu. And now Nadu's falling into danger of Casey Lakatos. We've got a little midfield battle popping up. So Tupper remains in 10th. Nadu 9/10ths behind. And if he loses this position to Casey Lakatos, it's just about over. Here goes Lakatos down the inside. Noah slams the door. Good defending from Nadu so far, but you can see the stripes on those tires. They are very worn out. He's losing ever so much time to Kyle Tupper here. And now Kyle Tupper might be setting his sights on Coral, trying to get into the top 9. Maybe Kyle Tupper will crash into Coral, and then that'll be the team orders that'll get Nadu back up to the front.
We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, indeed, as the gap to Lakatos has eased up just a little bit here. Yeah, it's still threatening to boil over. As Lakatos looking for any type of way around. The outside is not the way to go, though. Let's take a look at Lakatos here. He goes down the inside. Is this going to be the moment for Lakatos? It's him against Nadu. Nadu trying to cling desperately to that outside, but I think he's going to lose his spot. Nadu now is down to 12th. So the team orders don't come into effect for Central United. As a result, Nadu loses 2 positions He's down to 12th. He still had a great race, though. He's still up 13 spots. He is the biggest mover, but now he's out of the top 10. He's going to lose those 10 bonus points. It's going to go to Mars
Team is
instead.
disappointed with that.
Yeah. Possibly. Might be some fighting in the pits after this race. As that was a good battle. Apparently the NRG banner is outdated. Thank you for reminding me, Felix. I appreciate that.
Seeing that this is the 67 layout, it is not outdated though.
79 actually, but yeah, it's definitely not outdated. It's actually very ahead of its time. All things
It's actually
considered.
the future. Yeah. 75. It's actually 75, not even 79. But it's fine.
I'd have to check a settle course on that. I don't know if it's 75 or 70. Oh, it is 75. It says that on the top of the scoreboard. You're right.
Yep.
Good call. I think I've been marketing it as 79. It's the same layout. The layout did not change between those 4 years, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, interesting. As Will Duncan's still only a second behind Josh Fobo, he's still going to really want that spot. As we've got about 1 lap to go after this one.
And Jedi John looks like he might actually bring this home.
I think Jedi John should have no problem bringing this one home, and at risk of speaking too soon, I think this should be a pretty easy win for him at this point. I think.
Let's watch him bring this one home through the beautiful mountains of Interlagos.
Indeed. As he had 1 win last year. It was one that didn't really matter all that much for him, and then this would be a win that matters a lot and puts him in the championship conversation, actually. And look at this, Jedi John and Hayden Segovas. Man, MMM are going to jump out to a gigantic team lead after this race. And I get it, it's only week 1, and 200 points isn't really that much in the grand scheme of things for the teams. But, yeah, that would be incredible for them. As J-Man's starting to get close to Mars, I'd keep an eye on that as well, because if Mars gets crashed out, then maybe it's a chance for somebody else to take that driver of the day. But here we go, final lap. White flag in the air for Jedi John as he comes down the straight for the final time. And what a day for Jedi John. It's been a
please bring it home clean.
long couple of seasons for Jedi John, and he's going to be happy to start out this one with a bang. It's a long track, and every second that goes by probably feels like a minute to him. But he can just take it easy. Ease it all the way home, Jedi John. We believe in you. As Factor J steals the fastest lap from him. That's a dick move from Factor J, but Jay will be happy with that. It's not too terribly bad.
He's not even in the top 10, so it doesn't count for him.
He's not in the top 10. That is correct. Oh, Coral takes it. Coral is in the top 10, so everybody deciding to really step on the gas pedal here in the last couple of laps. As Coral now is getting really close to J-Man. He's trying to mount a charge here right at the end. He's taken a lot of time out of them, and here he goes. He's getting almost a second per lap on Jeffrey J-Man. This would be a huge move for Coral to get back to the spot he started in. As I don't want to take away from Jedi John, but this could be a brilliant battle here. As the battle for 25th really heating up. It's 1,033 seconds between Barahona and Lakers. Both those cars in the pits. That's brilliant. Brilliant from Seto Corsa there. Yeah, so Coral's going to have to try and find somewhere to make this move happen. Well, plenty of time to watch this one as Jedi John gets ready to come across the finish line here. As you can't ask for a much better result than a Jedi John win. It is a feel-good story, and MMM going to stake their claim as one of the scariest teams in Formula Dream with this one. As we hold the phone for just a second, Coral is right on the back of Jeffrey J-Man there. As he swings out to the outside, he really wants this position. But here he comes, the man himself. We go on board with Jedi John as he comes through the final couple of corners in first place for MILF Mommy Motors. He is triumphant on the day between the two lakes, and nothing can stop him from this time. He comes across in first place. It's a win for Jedi John in round 2 of the season 2 of Formula Dream. Brilliant racing from Jedi John. You're really happy for him as Steve Durham comes home second.
And great race for Steve, too.
Absolutely deserved. And yeah, great race for Area iRacing and Steve Durham. Very good stuff for them. So now, grab your popcorn a little bit here, because Coral is in P9, and he really wants this spot. As Segovia comes home third for Milf Mommy Motors. You see the fireworks off in the distance. Beautiful, beautiful racetrack here in Brazil. It's a feel-good story today, and those fireworks are going to be lauding Jedi John home to the finish. Coral's not going to be able to gain that position back at this point, I don't think, unless something really unprecedented happens. We don't see overtakes happen here, but he's going to go for it down the inside. Coral trying to hold on. He's going to be able to go. Big block by J-Man. Oh, that was a huge block by J-Man, but he holds on, and it's 8th place for J-Man, 9th place for Coral. He's not going to be happy with that move in the slightest, as Kyle Tupper comes home as well. Oh, and they're unhappy. Oh, there's a penalty after. Oh, good Lord. Coral's been sent to the wall by J-Man after the race. Oh, can you believe it? That's nasty. That is nasty from J-Man after the race. As Will Duncan. Oh, man, Will Duncan. Hold on. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Will Duncan now trying to get past Josh Fobo. That one's not going to happen. Whew. But wow, that was unbelievable what we just saw with Jeffrey J-Man there just knocking Coral off the racetrack. That one will have to be a word had with the FIA in that situation, but home comes Colin Fleabag. Home will come Alex Martin as well. 17th and 18th and 19th for Brown, Brown, and Ziviello. So it's almost Brown, Brown, Brown. It was Ziviello that broke it up in 19th, but 17th Brown, 18th Brown, 20th Brown. That's Felice Ziviello, the last man out on track. He's in P19, as Coral is still sitting in the wall there after being spun on around by Jeffrey J-Man. Expect some harsh words between the two of them. But, wow, what a day for Jedi John. As Ziviello is going to draw the curtains on this final race here. Not final race, on the finale of this race, though. So P1, the win for Milf Mommy Motors, is Jedi John. In second is Steve Durham. Third is Hayden Segovis. Fourth, Factor Bacon. Fifth, Mihal Litwinski. Sixth, Juno Maximovich. Seventh is Marcelo Mars. Eighth is Jeffrey J-Man. Ninth is Coral. And 10th is Kyle Tupper. A decent finish for Central United Motorsport. Casey Lakatos in 11th. Noah Nadu in 12th. And Blue Balls Motorsport, Josh Joseph in 13th. Noah, if you want to take the remaining guys.
Finishing 14th was Will Duncan, followed by Conal Fleabag, finishing 15th. Finishing 16th was Alex Martin, followed by Madison Brown, finishing 17th. Finishing 18th for the area iRacing was Spencer Brown, followed by Felice Ziviello, finishing 19th. Finishing 20th for Central United was James Brown. Followed by Factor J in 21st. In 22nd, we had Keelan Wynn. In 23rd was Miley Fonte, followed by Bob Brook, finishing 24th. In 25th, we had Jafeth Barahona, followed by David Lakers, finishing 26th.
Indeed, yeah. So interesting to note, those last four are all DNFs as well, so they will get half points. I think down there they won't get any points, so in the first place, being that far down the order. So no points awarded for those guys, no points for Factor J either. This whole last page will score 0 more than likely. Now, the FIA is going to have some work to do. There was some interesting play for Mallory Fonte. She'll probably just get a warning with where she ended up finishing. A penalty wouldn't really do much, but it'll be interesting to see the kind of action they take with Jeffrey J-Man for that incident after the race. But not going to dampen things here. Jedi John with a brilliant win. Could be. Could be. It'll be interesting because if it affected the actual result of the race, that's one thing. But if it was more of a conduct after the race thing, it could just be a grid penalty for the next race or something like that. Very interesting to look at. But yeah, it was a great race. We'll have to take a look at what happened there. It was a fun race.
Good for Jedi John.
Very good for Jedi John. Happy for him. As Noah, any final comments for you?
It's lunchtime, baby.
It is lunchtime. I am starving. But
Me
yeah,
too.
That was brilliant. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this race and looking forward to what's to come in Formula Dream.
I see what you did there.
Very well done. Well, on behalf of Central United, it's myself and Noah Nadu here with today's presentation of Formula Dream, the Brazilian Grand Prix from Interlagos. And we will see you next time in Indianapolis. That race was won by Hayden Segovis last year. We'll see who wins it this year. But until then, we'll give you a couple days to recuperate, give the teams some time to work on the cars, and we will work on our commentary skills. So we will see you in the next one.